everybody, it's Christine. Time for a scrapbook process video. And I gotta tell you guys, I've been more inspired lately, so I'm happy with that. I am making my way through some stash here. So this is a Scrap Room Flavors of the Month. I've clearly used it. I think I used it for a Scrap Lift Crafternoon. And I don't have any full sheets here. I have these cute little cameras and stuff. I do have, and this actually kind of works in my favor sometimes because I work faster, I feel like. So what I'm kind of imagining here is because all I have in the, I don't want to go, I can go up into my stash and I may have to, but I'm going to try not to because I think what I'm going to do is essentially build myself a 12 by 12 with these, like this. Like I'm going to put this over the top and end up almost like with a 2/3, 1/3 top deal. And cut that there. I may actually try to trim this so I can use it as a photo mat because I have this picture, y'all. This is just a random little picture I took of Miss Saturn at our last house. She just looks so regal to me. I mean, she's just so lovely. She's so pretty, y'all. Look at that, her long hair. And she's got these little eyes. She reminds me of the Puss in Boots, you know, in like the Shrek. I think it's Shrek. And he'll look up at you and he's always got like those big old, you know, he'll have those big old pupils or whatever. Her eyes are always like that. She's just always kind of like big old eyes, you know. And I just think she's the most darling thing ever. So, because the ephemera here is You Have My Heart and It's a Love Story. Now, that's the only two things I got. So I may just use these cameras as kind of my things. And then there's these little tags. So I think I'm going to cut little tags. This is going to be tricky. Because of the floral on the floor. Maybe they'll come over here. Well, I guess that's the point. I got to figure this out. So, you know, that being said, if I have a scrap I have to grab, I'll grab a scrap. So let me do this. And actually, maybe I'll tear this. That offers me a little bit of difference. What's on the back side? Oh, that's cute. You know what? I'm going to trim this first so that I can cut this part out. She has nothing to do with books, but that's just pretty. And then we'll go from there. Okay, give me just a second. I'll be back on. Okay, you guys, as I suspected, since I didn't really have a ton of paper to work with, this didn't take me a long time. A couple of those sections, I think I cut some of it out, but a couple of little things kind of threw me for a loop for a moment. The base of it was fine. This was easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Because all I had was the floral and the, like, cardstock to work with. So I did what I suggested, which was I cut the little piece off there. I'm going to use as photo mats in a minute. And then I did cut down that floral piece on the left-hand side, and I'm going to end up tearing that in just a moment. And then I'm going to get these little tags ready to go. I do like these. I actually tried to start with them on the floral. I ended up changing my mind, though. You'll see that in just a minute because it was getting lost. So I have to kind of organize. I have to rethink my design a couple of times because I definitely... I don't know. It's like it was easy, but not easy, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to tear this edge here. I will kind of just curl up the edge. I don't go real deep because I didn't want to give myself trouble on since I didn't have a full sheet of paper, I was like, oh, don't go too far. Although I had plenty. I mean, honestly, I was kind of overly cautious here. I'll use my mat, which I do love the feature of this mat. This is that Tim Holtz glass mat. I don't know if it has a fancy name. I forgot. I've had it now for, I don't know, almost a year, I guess. But basically, the center of it is the 0, and you can see 6 on either side. So it helps you see what a 12 by 12 is by putting it in the middle, and then you can see your 6 inches on either side. I'm going to cut away in just a second, but you'll see I'm going to start fussy cutting this stack of books out. I use my big scissors. I might should have used my little scissors, but I'll start kind of fussy cutting this out. I just realized I accidentally threw that butterfly away. Oh, well. I sure did. So I fussy cut the book side, and I started off on the florals. I thought, oh, I'll put it over here, and I'll put the picture there. And y'all, no. I realized I'll mess with this. I stick these tags. I do want the tags in my head. I thought I'll put them behind the picture. But the books were getting lost, and I don't know. It didn't really work. So I'm going to move them over to the right-hand side. And I do like that. Okay, I go, okay, now I can see the books. That makes some sense to me. So I got my photo. I've got it mounted on one piece of cardstock, I think. Have I done that yet? Maybe I haven't done that yet. I will in a moment if I haven't. I'm looking at the tags, and I'm going, okay, so I got the tags. I got these cameras, okay, and I hadn't figured out yet what I'm going to do, so I thought, well, I'll do the one thing I know I'm going to do, which is mount the photo. So I do mount the photo. I do realize, by the way, that the right-hand side, I use a selfie printer, And it has like little perforated edges. I guess the design of the printer, some engineer came up with it. There's like little wings on the photos, and sometimes it'll print on those little wings. And I guess I had cut it and had the little wing, and I realized I had to take the little piece off. So then I thought, you know what? I'm going to use the same color cardstock here, and I'm going to double photo mat it, but I'm going to put foam in between. I like this effect. It gives you a photo mat with some interest without adding another color. So I'll do this, and I'll put the foam behind the photo, and then that's going to be double matted like that. I do need to figure out the size of this second mat here, so that's what I'm doing there. And then I'm just going to glue my foam between them. And I like that. It gives you a little shadow in between the photos, and the photo mats, rather. So I've got my tags, and I'm going to scuff the edges here. And I'm still thinking in my head, I'm going to probably put that up right behind that photo. But what I also have is I flipped over the camera paper, and it's got like this newspapery type print, or like this collage, maybe is the right word for it, where you can kind of see like there's music sheets, there's little words, there's like it's just all different little things. And then I thought to myself, I'm going to just layer those around the photo. I'm going to be a little bit haphazard. Not really, but kind of. In other words, I'm creating a photo mat, but they're not really equal, if that makes any sense, because I thought this could be really cute. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to basically create another photo mat, but they're different, like I said, different lengths and widths and things like that. It's not even on purpose. Also, because the paper itself looks kind of photo-y. It's a little bit random or whatever. So I thought, well, this kind of adds to that. I thought, well, that looks kind of neat. And it helps separate the photo from the floral. The floral is a little bit busy. And then I realized pretty quickly the tags need to go on the right-hand side. I go, that's just not going to look right up behind that journaling paper-looking photo mat. So I put those on the right, and I really like how that looks. I really like that. That added to it quite a bit. So now I got these cameras. I'm like, okay, what can I do with these cameras? And I'm going to build two kind of big old clusters that create a diagonal with my photo is basically what I'm going to do here. I did fussy cut those out. And so let's see, I'm going to just I do have to fuss with these though. I'm not going to lie, because I didn't want the same color next to each other or the same shape or the same design. So it took me a minute. I'm kind of moving them around, and I'll get this kind of squared away in a second. I will glue them down off camera. I use Nuvo glue on most of them, except for the pink ones with the florals. I'll use some foam on those. And so I'll glue those all down, and then I decide I'm going to put ribbon on my tags. I went off and I grabbed out of my stash some ribbon, and I'm just doing those little, what is that called? Little pointy, ribbony shapes. I don't know what that's called, flag shapes on the ribbons or something. I'll use a little bit of ATG, honestly, because you can see they're kind of bent up or something. I'm going to use ATG in a second to kind of glue those down. And the books I'm going to decide to put on foam. And I think that turns out really cute, actually. So I'm going to glue those down. I'll put my foam on my books. And I'm trying to think if I do anything else before I start pulling. I had those 2 foam stickers left from my embellishments. I think I do that next after I get this glued down. And yeah, I think that's basically the next step. So I'm going to glue my little foam down here. And I think I'm telling you, this, there wasn't a lot to work with. So like I said, there was a couple of spots that kind of struggle bus. The camera placement was a little bit of a struggle bus. And basically figured the very, very initial, like where do these books go, was a little bit of a struggle bus. But other than that, because I didn't really have a ton to work with, it was like, okay, this is easy. So here's where I got my little foam pieces. I put the, you have my heart up there underneath her name, not her name, her photo. And then that's a little crooked. I will fix that, you guys, after. I think I even take the photos and everything before I fix it, but I do straighten it up. And then the It's a Love Story is going to go on top of the books, because I go, well, that kind of makes some sense now. And then I ran off. This is in my cart. My little Scrap and Happy Studios is in my cart. And there was this cute little set, and it had like some little florals. Now, I'll tell you, these little florals on the flare is a tad cutesy as compared to the florals on the paper. But I'm not going to worry about it because the colors were close to this collection, and I'd like to use my flare. So that's what I decided to do. I will go off into my stash, though, and I will pick up some wood veneer and some half pearls. So I find this really big S, and her name, of course, is Saturn. So I'm going to use the S to spell that, or to just kind of capture that. And then I've got some little wood hearts. I thought I had more. I may actually have a baggie somewhere. I got to find it. But I found 2 in here. So I'm going to just do kind of a visual triangle with my two little hearts in my S. I go, well, it's wood veneer and it's 3 little pieces, so that'll work. And then after that, I'll glue those down with Nuvo glue. I think I do that now. And then after that, I'm going to pull out those half-back pearls. And I have that little sheet up there. That's from Kaiser Craft. It has a whole bunch. And I have so many of those, you guys. I have dozens and dozens of them. And I've told myself, Christine, you need to start using these things. And sometimes I remember, and sometimes I do real good and use them. And then sometimes I forget. So I'm proud I remembered these. They're kind of a soft yellow that goes with the flowers on them. Well, you guys, the Amazon lady called to ask if she could put my delivery on my front porch. Don't even get me started. Why that was a question is beyond me. But anyway, the last thing I do here is I do take these little half pearls and I put these all over in little clusters and I use up the entire sheet, you guys. I was so proud. And that's all I got for this layout. If the Amazon driver had waited 1 minute to call me, I wouldn't have had to start over. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Don't forget to do like and subscribe. And all the good. I do comment on everybody, so if you say hello, I will reply back at some point within the next, day or so. So y'all have a lovely day, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.